How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to some more Danganronpa, another Despair Academy. Wait for it. Wait for the beat drop. That's a lot better. Alright, so last time we entered the deadly life portion of chapter 4 with the death of my beloved Haruhiko Kobashikawa. May Kobazing rest in peace. A lot of weird shit happened last episode, and not like good weird. I still don't know how to process most of what happened. Kinjo is a motherfucker that just needs to get over it, literally get real. Rei Mekaru is starting to open up a little bit more, especially to Yuki, which I mean, I guess I expected. The antagonist characters all seem to undergo some sort of change in chapter 4, like I said at the beginning of the chapter. And this doesn't seem to be an exception. I wonder what's gonna happen in this trial. I legit am wondering. I have been told that the trial is a massive punch to the gut. Actually, several punches to the gut. But I sincerely don't know what I'm expecting out of it. I did know that it was probably Kawazing that was gonna fucking die, and I'm really sad about it, but not as sad as Inori. That being said, we have to find out who killed him. That's basically it. That whole ballroom shenanigans was pretty hard to play through. It just reminded me of Danganronpa 2 all over again. Yeah, it was not fun. It was not fun. I of course I liked the chapter so far, but like, you know what I'm saying. Let's just get this going. This episode should be a lot shorter than the others because it's just the investigation. And whenever I have the time, I will record the class trial and do what I usually do, which is split it in half. All right, let's go. Oh yeah, that's right. It was hope searching. I completely forgot that was the investigation theme. Oh, that's a nice surprise. What am I doing? I'm trying to find the button for the... there we go. Alright. Oh, Maeda-kun! Welcome back! Monokuma, why are you here? Jeez, why are you treating me so harshly? I served you a meal as promised, didn't I? Did you eat your food? I don't have time for your nonsense jokes with you. Disappear! Why are you so angry, I wonder? Anyways, I've forgotten something, so I can deliver it to you. Yeah, the file. It's the Monokuma File 4! Oh, right. Weak reaction! Maeda-kun, you baka! Baka! Mulberry! Monokuma File 4. It's already the 4th file. No, let's stop thinking about that. My only option is to think about the case. Alright, let's read the Monokuma File first. This is the Monokuma file left behind in my Monokuma. It doesn't seem to like much help, but I'll have to read it first. The victim is Haruhiko Kobashikawa. The estimated time of death is about 6 AM. So, knowing the time of death this time around won't help us out a lot. The body was found in the arsenal. The cause of death was excessive bleeding due to a gunshot wound in the right chest. Huh? In addition, the index finger and middle finger of his right hand were ruptured and broken. What the fuck? Huh. So he was shot. He was shot to death. Was it a single bullet? I guess that doesn't really matter. He's fucking dead, but like, his hand was broken as well, like the fingers. What the hell happened here? Gunshot wound. From the first time I saw the arsenal at the ballroom, I guessed it vaguely, but from this fact, the intake seems to be a gun. The time of death here is about 6 AM. The time was lost when I spent it in the ballroom, but when I went to the dormitory to change my clothes a little earlier, I checked the current time, it was around 9 AM. That means Haruhiko's death was less than 3 hours ago. I got up after listening to the announcement at 7 AM this morning. So the incident really happened quite early this time. This time, the time of death is properly written, and I guess the cause of death too. There was a trap in the Monokuma file for the previous case. There was a confusion of the time because it didn't write down whether it was AM or PM. But fortunately, there seems to be no doubt about this Monokuma file. But that's it. This Monokuma file is just that. No special clues to be found in it. No, at least we can know the estimated time of death. Let's take a note of it. I'm gonna vibe with this investigation, my guys. Alright, let's see. Oh, look. Huh? Suddenly, while investigating the corner of the wall, I saw something out of place. This gun. Why is it so far away in a corner of the room? I picked it up from the floor and checked it. It felt heavy, peculiar feeling of how the heavy, peculiar feeling of how real it was, but I couldn't find anything particularly strange. It's just a gun that doesn't change much like the other guns that are on display. Was it just a little far away? Maeda, what are you doing? Huh? What is it, Turia? You should take your hands off that gun right now! Wait, this must be some misunderstanding. I was just trying to investigate over here. That gun, it will blow up! Huh? Blow up? What are you talking about? I'm confused too. What are you doing? Now you've decided to kill? It's a shame to tell you this, but it would be a big deal if I were in your shoes right now. So never touch that gun. That's not it. I was just trying to investigate. This is a misunderstanding. Why would I try to kill you? Eh? Yeah, Turia, my man, just calm the fuck down. You weren't trying to shoot me? That's right. So what did you mean by this blowing up? Forget it, it's nothing! What? Turia's sudden behavior is strange, but according to his words, this could be dangerous, so I put the pistol in its original position and decided to leave it alone. However, Turia's strange remarks feels like something is odd. I'll take note of it. What does he know about this? What does he know about what happened? Alright, let's talk with Akane, even though it's not part. Oh, Maeda-kun. Taira, what are you doing without investigating? I'm sorry, the body is so terrible. I understand it's hard, but we can't help it. We'll have to do it. We have to do our own investigation as far as we can. I know, it's been about a week since Uehara-kun's case. I'll do my best. Oh, I feel bad for Akane. Ugh, the smell! This is the source of the smoke. It's a fucking smoke screen, yeah, a smoke grenade. It was a military smoke screen that was often used for strategic purposes in modern warfare, as it was on the ground and still spreading a little bit of smoke from it. Also close to the smoke bomb, there was a flash grenade that had been used and became an empty steel barrel. Flashbang and smoke screen. These were also... When Turia and I opened the door at first to the arsenal this morning, in an instant a tremendous light and sound came upon me. At the same time, the smoke screen spread like a mist. Looking at this far, no matter what I think, these grenades can be affirmed as the cause of the situation. The question is who? Who could do this? And what happened while we were confused? Was it also the culprit? In most realistic cases, when we opened the arsenal, the most realistic case, when we opened the arsenal, the killer was already inside the arsenal. Even if it was estimated from the time of death of Haruhiko, the timing was right. And in an absolute soundproofed arsenal, no matter how loud it was, it would have been impossible to be noticed. I think that's exactly it. I think they opened the door, like, the killer was inside with Haruhiko's body, and they made a locked room mystery. But, like, they took advantage of the flashbang and smoke screen to get the fuck out, and then rejoin once the commotion had settled. It does sound like that could be the case. Because there's no way to get out of here other than through that door, right? I imagine, at least. There's only one entrance to the arsenal. In order to escape, they would have no way but to meet us outside. Yeah, exactly. Also, sorry about my nose. It's a rough day today. Was the smoke screen and flashbang used to avoid that encounter? I think it is, yeah. However, when I recall the situation in the morning, it would be difficult to say that a person would artificially come out at the same time we opened the door. Oh no, wait! This is... A thick wooden plank was stuck in the inner handle of the arsenal door, and now it was in a state of being doubled towards the opening of the door, something that I heard right before opening the door with Teruya this morning. It looks like it was this wooden board. The overall development can be inferred so far as... the thick plank was clasped English. In the door of the arsenal, and the flash and smoke grenades were both placed on the plank. And then when the killer noticed that the plank was about to break, they waited. And as soon as the door opened and the people who opened the door were stunned, they fucking ran out. But they had to have some protection against those flashbangs. If that happens, when you forcefully open the door from the outside, the board gets crushed and the place grenades fall to the floor. That shock triggered the grenades. But something feels weird. In the end, if it was meant to be used by the killer to get out of the arsenal through an enormous slide and sound, was it necessary to use this cumbersome method? I can't even guess what the killer's goal was. But it does sound like that, yeah. This is a pistol. It's located in the immediate vicinity of Haruhiko. Then this pistol could be the weapon that killed Haruhiko. Or so I thought, but soon I realized it was wrong. The guns are all scattered on the floor. There wasn't only one gun that fell on the floor. Perhaps it was the criminal's actions. Most of the guns fell to the floor and were mixed randomly. Confuse us, basically. From this point on, I don't know which gun was the one that directly killed Haruhiko. It would be too difficult to conclude that this is the gun used for the killing, just because it was the closest one. It seems that the guns were all scattered in order to prevent the real one to be found. I should check things out. Yep. I couldn't see properly because of the smoke, but when I suddenly stopped to look at it, I could find there was an unnatural bloodstain on the floor. Blood traces danced throughout the arsenal, as if Haruhiko wandered around the arsenal after being shot. What is this? This unnatural bloodstain? It's only obvious that it's Haru's blood, but rather than trying to run away after being shot just by looking at the blood spots, it seems as if he was trying to move in the arsenal all over the place. Simply put, it was so bizarre. Maybe he was chasing someone. Is it reasonable to assume that this degree of descriptive blow was made by the killer dragging Haruhiko unconscious? I don't know. Well, for now, I can only think of it as a possibility, but there must be some reason for the blood to be left in this way. Oh, I can't go there. Fine, we'll talk with you. Kinjo? Maeda? In the end, I can't hide the awkward mood. Kinjo told me to focus only on the investigation, but I was still worried about it. Yes, do you have anything to ask about the case? Huh? Well, I mean, Haruhiko's body, he wasn't killed instantly, right? Indeed. In fact, there is a hole in the chest, and even in the Monokuma file, is said to be an excessive bleeding death due to a gunshot wound. A gun. Until now, thanks to the layout of the school, there were murders with items that would be common in the everyday life. To think there would be a person who was shot to death. It's fine. You guys might not be familiar, but I have my fair share with gunshots. I was gonna read with shotguns. My man is out here living. Jesus Christ. Give me just a second. Okie dokie. Seems to be fine. Okay. Sorry. Just making sure that it was on the right settings this time, because last time I was a dumbass. If there's something you don't know, it's fine to ask. Is it because the incident happened? Even though there was a conflict less than 24 hours ago, Kinjo wasn't much different from the way he usually treats me. Well, maybe it's the gun and the chest wound. Would it be better to see this as an immediate death? No, I don't think Haruhiko was close to immediate death. Huh? Why is that? Even if it was on the chest, it's not the heart. It's the right part of the chest. The bullet passed through the body. Since it wasn't stuck, it would have been possible to move for a short amount of time, rather than die immediately. It wasn't stuck, meaning it penetrated the body. Wouldn't it be more dangerous then? There are surprisingly many people who think that way, but in reality, it's better for a bullet to pass through the body than being stuck in it. There are 3 types of layer damage to a body. One is bleeding, another is burning. The last one is the impact of a bullet's kinetic energy. If you look at one by one, it is difficult to inflict great damage due to the small surface area, in case of burns, and it is rare that from excessive bleeding you die immediately. But the story of a shock caused by the kinetic energy is different. Yeah, he's right. Sudden stops are one of the most dangerous things the body can experience. Sorry. Was just, you know, wiping my nose. Maeda, if you get hit with a fist or a bat, it will be difficult to move due to the impact, right? That's Well, if you're an ordinary person who doesn't have any special training, that would be even worse. Similarly, when a bullet gets stuck inside the body, all the kinetic energy turns into shock energy, creating an instantaneous large space in the body. The fact that this space has been created means that the body has been greatly shocked. The shock will cause negligible damage and damage to the surrounding organs as well. Really? I'm not sure what you mean exactly, but anyways, that means penetration is a better alternative than getting stuck, right? That's what it means. In fact, in some foreign countries, there are bullets that split into the front part of the bullet and causes fragments that get stuck into the body. That's terrible! The bullet did this. It was a fatal injury to be hit by this bullet, whether it was stuck or it was pierced, or it pierced the body. Especially in the case of Haruhiko. As you said, the chest was hit, so even if it was pierced, there's a high possibility that the hole in his lung was pierced through. Ugh, dude. A hole in the lung? Not cool. As I said before, it's only less shocking, and he must have died shortly after having difficulty breathing and bleeding. It's hard. Guns should only be cheap for the wicked. Unless it's in an extreme game. This is an extreme situation. There doesn't really seem to be a need to be talked about. Anyways, I'll move to another place since the arsenal has been roughly investigated. Make sure to investigate carefully. If you find something, let me know, Maeda. Sorry, just checking my phone. All right. Kinjo, there was an incident yesterday, and he seemed a lot unstable recently, but it seems everything is okay because of the current one. Was it only me that had a hard time to deal with it? Seriously, Kinjo is a completely different person from the first time we met. The time he was hostile to us, and the time of the investigation. For now, let's check what Kinjo told me. I didn't really understand it all, but in summary, it's better to be pierced from the bullet than having it stuck. And Haruhiko's case was the latter. Was it like this? Dude, look at him! God damn! Who did this? It's Haruhiko's body. It's no different from our friends who have died so far. It's cold, empty eyes. Alright, had a little phone call, but everything's fine. Let's go. We are alive today because you are dead. Don't you think this is absurd? There was no way that Haruhiko, who had passed away in such a devastating manner, would answer me. My man, dude. I related with this man so much. I'm gonna miss you, dude. But the class trial still remains. If we can find the culprit who killed you, we will all die. By all means, find the one who killed you, Haruhiko. I won't make your death in vain. After expressing minimal condolences to Haruhiko as if making a prayer, I began to investigate his body. First, the fatal wound that can be considered as the direct cause of death must be a gunshot wound to the chest. In the case of friends who have died so far, if they use the hammer, a knife, or a plaster weapon that makes the mer weapon bloody, it makes the mer weapon bloody. In the case of Haruhiko, it was because Monokuma prepared an arsenal. He was shot because the treasure provided an inspiration to kill him. However, I don't really know how to deal with this, as ordinary students like me don't have the slightest idea of how one feels to be shot. The mer weapon is a gun. Even if it was a gun, what kind of gun was it? And in addition to the gunshot wound in the chest, there's something suspicious. Haruhiko's right hand. Ugh. His right hand was devastatingly destroyed, so much that I couldn't see it with my eyes open. It was literally destroyed. The index and middle fingers were completely amputated, and the remaining fingers were torn to pieces in the skin. Oh, what the fuck, dude? That's so brutal! I'm sure Haruhiko got his wound from being shot to the chest, but what in the world happened to the wound on his right hand? No matter how much I think about it, I don't think my hand would look like this if I was shot by a bullet. Rather than a gun, it's like he got caught in a dynamite-like explosion. I think it's a little seared when I look at it closely. I wonder what kind of gun was it that shot Haruhiko. And it is urgent we find out the identity of the object that caused the wound on the right hand. That's so fucked, dude! That is so fucked! Ugh! There were no more noticeable clues, and I couldn't see any more of my friend's terrible body, so I decided to stop and get up. What about you? Hikaru, I want to ask you something. It's noisy. Since when did you get along with me talking so freely? Get lost. Even so, I thought we would cooperate a little by passing the same point of death, but it seems to have gotten worse. In this case, it might be better to cooperate with Kinjo as much as possible at this limited time. Fair point. There are some things here. I expected as much from Mekaru. She only opened up because she was showing weakness, but now she's fully ready up again, so it doesn't surprise me. There's blood splattered in this area too. What? I was trying to check the condition of the guns in display. There was blood on the display, but when I looked up close, I witnessed an even more grotesque sight. Yep, the fingers. Oh god. Fingers? It was human fingers, no matter how you looked at it. And of course, the owner of these fingers was Haru. I know Haruhiko's body had a ruptured hand in addition to the gunshot wound in the chest. Among them, his index finger and middle finger fell off from it. His fingers lie here as proof. But why are his fingers here? At first glance, it was far away from Haruhiko's body. From the shape of the blood, it seems like he began to walk after his fingers got cut. No, it's the opposite. It is likely that this was rather his body moved. Just by taking a glance on the floor, I should consider the possibility that the killer moved the body for some reason. What the fuck? What happened in this case? Like, at least last case I was like, oh yeah, there's like a clear train of thought that connects me to the killer. I have nothing here. So far anyways. What is this? At first there was no distinction from the tin blood on the floor. But when I looked closely, I felt something. It was like that something was like the remnants of something other than blood was stuck on the floor. A gun? Is it really? It was so disastrously destroyed that there was almost no form left, but I almost thought of a gun form of parts. It wasn't just because of the destruction, but a large amount of blood with each piece of it. Because of the lighting on the floor, it was difficult to see it clearly. How can it be destroyed this way, though? It's like seeing a bloody octopus. Ugh, no, that doesn't make sense. While observing the remains of the destroyed gun, I found something noticeable. This gun, it's loaded with bullets. In my mind, I checked around the other guns, but all of the magazines were empty. For this to be the only one destroyed, a small number of bullets were loaded. The arsenal was basically unloaded, and the bullets who were loaded separately are stuck on the magazine. Because of these conditions, and the fact that the only one loaded with bullets is this gun means, yeah, it's the murder weapon. There's a possibility that this is the murder weapon. This sounds like a pretty important clue. Let's be careful to remember this. Okay, I'm done here, yeah. Satsuki. Also, sorry, every time I spend a little longer silent, I'm just wiping my nose. Satsuki. Satsuki, why are you standing still during— what? Yuki, what am I supposed to do? Is it because it's Haru? It seems too horrible, but now we have no choice but to investigate, even if it sounds cheap. In order to survive. To survive, is it Satsuki? No, yeah, the investigation. I have to, yeah. She was so quiet that it wasn't like Satsuki at all. And the girl that went rampant like always. Seems that Haruhiko's death hurt her more than any of us. Huh. I see. Kurokawa, you were here. What about the arsenal investigation? I did it roughly. You aren't supposed to do it roughly. Maeda, I want you to listen to me. Huh? There's a problem with the alibis. During dawn, I kept monitoring the hallway. You were Kurokawa? Oh. Are you okay? I didn't really know, but you could have died because of hunger. It's okay, I'm used to it. You're used to it. Anyways, about the alibis. My room is right next to the arsenal. Unfortunately, because of the soundproof, I couldn't hear anything inside the arsenal. Only the sound of the arsenal door opening and closing could be heard. That means you saw it? You saw who went into the arsenal? I heard the sounds. I couldn't see them from this room, but I could see the moment they were passing by the door of my room. Isn't that right next to the arsenal anyway? If I had passed in front of Kurokawa's room and headed to the arsenal... Wait, no. This is the hallway on the left side in front of the arsenal. Due to the structure of the ballroom, if you turn to the other side and enter the arsenal, you can move without seeing the eyes of Kurokawa. That's right, but at least I've seen a few people that entered the arsenal. Really? Who are they? One is Haruhiko. And the other? The rest. I'll tell you in the trial. She knows, dude! Of course she does! Suddenly I thought about investigating. Of course she knows, dude. Still a weird girl as usual, but thanks to Kurokawa, this case could be solved fairly easily. Apart from that, I'm worried about Kurokawa's health. She usually looks weak and nervous, but this time she couldn't even sleep or eat at all. I hope she's okay. Hope you're fine, Makako. Hope you're fine. Anyway. Kinja, what are you doing in front of the door? Maeda, you're here. There was something I was going to check right now, but if it's okay, why don't we check this out together? What are we looking for? We're looking at it. It's open. Wasn't this room? Indeed, it was from Haruhiko Kobashikawa's corpse. I borrowed the key from it for a while. Because this is an incident in a closed space with limited movement, it's better to search everywhere as possible. I decided to follow Kinja and investigate Haru's room. Okay, what do we have? It's a room that's no different from my room, shockingly enough. Oh, man, look at this. There's something of interest here. There is, it's a note. Huh? Some kind of paper. To Haruhiko, I have something to say. If you read this, why don't you come to the arsenal? I'm not going to kill you. I hope you believe me, I'll be waiting. This is... Oh, the letter was written by the killer. It's the same method as when Maki was killed. Besides, this letter wasn't torn like last time. It's proof that the culprit couldn't even mess with. However, this seems a little more than what it takes. What it takes? I'll ask you, Maeda. After reading this, would you go to the arsenal? Huh? I mean... By the time this letter was sent, they would kill me. Just after we hit each other and fought. In that situation, if I received a letter like this from you... That was also the way Mitsuhiro Higa used putting a letter down the door. Down the door? How can you even know that? Can't you tell by a glance? There's no reason to meet face to face and give a letter. And there is no other way to send a letter in a locked room like this. It's definitely the first time anyone thinks of calling themselves out for murder. Yeah, that is true. But why did Haruhiko go directly to the arsenal? Well, but couldn't it have been that they didn't know because it was impossible to think normally? I mean, just before we went crazy. No, we were already crazy. If you look at the source of that madness, it's due to being starved and dying because we couldn't eat food, and the fear that someone might kill you. In other words, it's because of the self-defense fear of death. I don't want to die. So you'd rather judge things related to death more rationally than usual in extreme situations. Yeah, that is... Fuck, I hate agreeing with this guy! Still, the question remains, why did Haruhiko go through death's door by all means? Is it because they believed it? What? Haruhiko probably believed. He believed that there was no one in our group that could commit a murder. They believed until the very end. We were all on the verge of releasing the strings of reason, but it was different from Haruhiko. Yeah, that's what I said last time, dude. Men believed. He believed. I firmly believed that he believed. Like, to the bitter end. That's why when he saw whoever killed him, like, shooting him, dude, I'm gonna get them, whoever it is. Although, I'm starting to get a vague idea of who it is. He was the same. He wasn't sane, but he still opposed the idea of murder to the end. Kinjo, you did that too, right? He didn't want to ask you, but we've gotten all weird. He pled to you to do something. Because Haruhiko was like that. Even if they were insane, he would have trusted a friend and go straight to the arsenal. Such stupidity. That's not worth of the word trust. It's like jumping into death without being able to judge the situation. What's with that face? Were you hoping to get closer to me? Did you want to help? Did you want me to be impressed by saying this was your way of showing your trust to others? Well, look at the result. He died because of that stupidity. That's the reason I'm far away from people like this. Kinjo. Enough. We're investigating now. We can get excited over personal feelings. Well, whether Haruhiko acted that way because of a mischief is withheld, but this letter is an important clue in the end. Just fighting this gives a great achievement. There seems to be nothing else special in the room other than this. I'll even check another place then. Let's see each other at the class trial. Yep, I thought he was okay, but Kinjo is, after all, having a doubt on his own mind. If this class trial ends safely and we all survive, we'll have to seriously talk about Kinjo's state. That's one way of saying it. Wait, are we done? Hello! Can everyone hear me? It's already time! Anyways, it happened only inside the ballroom, so there's not much to investigate, right? Now then, everyone! Please gather in front of the entrance to the courtroom! So it's already the end of the investigation. No matter how much I do this, it's too short. Damn, this is gonna be the shortest episode of Danganronpa I've ever recorded. It's not even gonna be half an hour. I am so sorry. Actually, well, I guess it's like the calm before the storm. If I had separated the last episode into 2 and ended a little earlier, this would have been like a bigger episode, but it's fine. It's gonna be like half an hour episode before like the 2 hour or 2:30 of class trial. We got this, lads, we got this. Damn, I don't think I've recovered my sensitivity yet on my body. But it can't be helped. I did my best to investigate as much as I could. All that remains is what we have investigated so far, sorry. And we have no choice but to guess the killer with everyone else. There we go. Everyone's here. Yes. Oh, Maeda's here? And let's start the trial. Only the tension is flowing, the mood terribly awkward. While in the ballroom, the world of a lawless land was so colorless and hard. Above all, the number of people was too small. 7 people, including me. Besides, one of us is the culprit who killed Haruhiko. Even if this trial is safely handed over, the criminal will be executed and only 6 people will remain. 6. It was a number that didn't feel real. When has our head count been reduced to this extent? Looks like everyone is gathered! Well, it's easier to manage people since the numbers have been reduced, but isn't everyone's tension too low? Events that are washed out like the class trials are more lively, you know? It's no fun because there's no reaction at all, jeez! Now then, it's already the 4th time, right? This is the start of a fun class trial, so get on the elevator! Whatever the case, I have to go beyond this class trial. The later issues are for later. Well said, Yuki, well said. Everyone has their faces as if they were determined to do something even in an awkward mood. Different thoughts intersect each other, and we run into a hell called a class trial once again. Let's talk with everybody first. Or, yeah, we can talk, okay. We finally escaped from the ballroom due to the death of Kabashi Kaokun, and escaped the risk of being hungry to death. But I'm not happy at all. We could only survive by someone's sacrifice. It's the same for the class trials. At the expense of one criminal, it's a system where everyone lives. I'm so sad that I have to do this again. Kabazing. Oh, Satsuki! This case? No, you don't have to think so complicated. Yeah, unfortunately, I have to agree with Mekaru. I think I know who did it, but I could be wrong this time. Last time I was 100% sure. This time, I'm not so sure. But I have a funny feeling I know who did this. Let's move. Yeah, sure thing, Kinjo. Wait a minute. What do you want? Don't worry about me. I'm not crying. Yeah, sure thing, Teruya. Alright, let's do this. That's not translated. I suddenly started speaking another language. At first, I thought that this elevator was so narrow that it felt full, but now it's so wide. I looked at the other 6 other than me, in heavy silence, one by one. Kinjo is now in complete trial mode. In this state, Kinjo does a complete 180-degree turn. He only uses his head to break through the events before his eyes. But is it because of our mood that he looks like there's an anxious expression somewhere? Iranami, who has not lost her bright appearance at any time, she was still unable to escape from her shock of losing Haru. She wasn't the same. She wasn't the same Satsuki anymore. And her shaggy appearance made even the beholder's heart ache. Satsuki, man. I am so sorry. Kurokawa was always the same. She just stayed consistent with silence, and I couldn't even tell what she was thinking. Taira looked very tired. She doesn't want to lose any more friends, and she doesn't want to go through class trials anymore. That kind of heart seemed to linger on. In her face. Teruya was restless. After the incident, I may feel that Teruya's behavior is strange, but if you think about it, Teruya was like this at every trial, so it's not unusual. Nakaru wasn't saying that she'd watch his shovel as usual, but she was thinking of something unfamiliar to her, like something unexpected even for her. Is there anything that will get us stuck in this trial? Different thoughts and different beliefs will cross between each other. I think Teruya and Haru had this rivalry going on, as you guys know, and I think seeing Haru actually die kind of messed with Teruya's head as well. That just might be my theory. At the point where there are only 7 people left, we are thinking differently, but we have to overcome this. A hell-like 4th class trial. There we go. What's the trial room looking like? The elevator stops. As if we had made an appointment, we step at the same time without a special signal towards a very familiar courtroom. Oh, it does resemble Danganronpa 1's Chapter 4. You are here! I was waiting! How are you guys? It's been a long time, hasn't it? You met with us right after the murder happened a while ago, though. Nah, I mean meeting me as the judge. Well, it's been more than a week since the last trial. Instead of that, this presiding judge is more stylish than usual. Don't be useless and start the damn thing already. Shocked? Well, I'm always neglected, but this time it's getting more thorns. Don't you think so, Maeda-kun? I don't care. Start as Mikaru said already. Even Maeda-kun is rude to me. This could be a sign to represent your heartache. Then I'll start as you want. There we go. Oh my god, dude. There's so few people left. I'm not used to endgames of Danganronpa titles. Now, shall we start right away? To uncover the truth of the prolonged stay in the ballroom incident for more than a week, we have the all-exciting, heart-pounding class trial! The only thing that's the same as usual is Monokuma. Each one of us were in serious mood, unlike usual. The tension in this trial, the feeling of losing a dear friend to us. The reasons were different, but in the end, we came here for the class trial. Now, all that remains is to find the culprit by confronting all the clues, testimonies, and test our wits that we have. UDG music. Haruhiko. Our relationship with him was finally bonding us together in the middle. He was like a licorice in a drugstore. With Satsuki, he always showed his bright side, and at the same time, his love for his friend was twice as deep as anyone else's. As a result, thanks to his death, we were able to eat and survive, but Haruhiko couldn't eat anymore. It was an unavoidable choice to live, but as a result, there's a culprit that killed Haruhiko. If we don't find them, we will all die in the end. The atmosphere of the court is filled with silence. Our trial finally begins. Man, Teruya is pretty fucking short. I never realized that. And Mikako is tall as fuck. What happened? A life-threatening discussion. A life-threatening lie. A life-threatening betrayal. Oh god, this panel just hurts, dude. A life-threatening conclusion. A life-threatening defense. A life-threatening trust. A life-threatening class trial. Class trial 4, boys. We made it. Next episodes are gonna be the trial itself. Oh my god. I don't know, man. Something about this just stinks. I have a feeling I know who it is. But if it is who I think it is, I'm never touching this game again. Basically. Actually, no, because Chapter 5 usually is the best chapter of the game. So, but yeah, if it is who I think it is, I'm never touching this game again. super hyperbole, but still. Anyways, as we jam out to some good old Trial Underground remix, that's where we're gonna end off. Thank you all so much for watching. If you liked today's episode, consider leaving a like and subscribing if you are new to the channel. And if you want to be notified of future uploads like this one, hit the little bell, you know what to do. Also, if you want to join my Discord server or follow me on Twitch for more constant updates, link is in the description below to both of them. That is all from me. Stay safe, and until next time, peace!